Should you use herbal medicine when you have gallstones? That's a big conundrum among herbalists, by the way. And for some reason in the books it actually says yes. And I'm talking about very specific herbs that I'll be mentioning in a minute. And I'm saying for some reason because my experience over the past 30 years has shown me that you taking the wrong herbs while you already have gallstones in the system, and I'm not talking about lodged gallstones in the ducts or something acute, I'm talking about just having them in your gallbladder or liver or both. I've seen people take herbs and then come to me on all fours in a acute state of pain because the herbs worked. Now, what do I mean? Why is it written like that in the books? And what should we do about it? Well, the reason herbs like dandelion root and quite a lot of, artichoke roots and seeds and, there's quite a lot of herbs actually that are good for the liver. Most of them have this innate tendency to squeeze the liver and the gallbladder very strongly, which means if you have gallstones, gallstones fly out. But is that a good thing? Well, in most cases not. In most cases, if it's not done during the right process in the right way, it's likely that this is going to cause a pain attack, what's called colic. You really don't want that. They're very good herbs. They're very healthy herbs to use. But when you have gallstones, during the process and until you flush them all out, that is not a good timing for using those herbs. Those herbs are good for either prevention before you actually get to the point that you have gallstones. They're very good when you've already finished flushing out the gallstones to prevent a new batch from forming. And actually use that very often. But when a person has gallstones, the last thing you want is a strong squeeze. So put those herbs away. And if someone gave you some formulation because he heard you have gallstones and you're not sure if that formulation is good for you or not, write down the formulation, not just the name of the product if it's a bought product. Give me the full list of ingredients, please, so that I can, answer your question immediately. I won't start searching the web, okay? I'll be glad to tell you if it's a good idea or if it's not a good idea. Now, there's another side to herbs, and that is that some of the herbs actually have a tendency to create more fluids inside the gallbladder and liver that actually create more bile. And by assisting in bile creation, theoretically, they're capable of melting those stones away. So is that a good idea? Well, no. The reason it's not a good idea is that when you have gallstones, there's also usually a lot of mud involved, a lot of mud from the same material the gallstones are formed. And when you start taking these kind of herbs, the mud washes away first and the stones become more mobile. Ask a doctor if that's a good thing. The answer will be, oh, no. You do not want mobile stones. They cause more problems. And for a good reason. Then there's another aspect, which is why I say no twice to this. If you actually get the stones to grow smaller while being more mobile, there will come a time when they'll be small enough to go flying straight out and lodging in the ducts. They won't be small enough to just flow through. They'll be just small enough to get stuck, because it takes quite a lot of time to actually reduce their size. It can take a year to get a millimeter down in some cases. So that's not really very practical, and the threat is real. So what do? We flush the stones out, make sure you're clean, and then you can take your yearly dose of herbs. That's a wonderful timing to do so. Very good prevention against building new stones and a lot of other issues. So now you have the answer. And again, if you're confused, if you've been given a formula by some professional and you want to know our opinion, which is very experienced, then just write below. Again, full list of herbs, so I can actually give it my full attention. And don't forget, sign up to the channel and hit that bell so that you won't miss the next one. Lots of good stuff coming.